Hey everyone, Ginger Soda here, and I'm back with another Fallout 76 video, and today I want to talk about Fallout 76's economy, and specifically how I feel like there are things that could improve and what I would do to improve it. Now, while I do really like the fact that so much of Fallout 76's economy is player driven, I feel like there's a few different ways that it can be improved. Because the economy is so player driven, when we have those gaps where there's really low player count because there's not really much going on, it's really hard for a lot of players to make caps during that time, which can be a little bit of an issue. Now, I feel like Bethesda should allow players to sell items for currencies besides caps. While I'm not really sure exactly how that would work, in terms of like how it would affect the economy, because I'm no economist, so I'm not exactly sure what would happen if we introduced another 4 potential currencies that players can interact with each other with. But I feel like it allows for a bit more freedom in allowing players to kind of step past the limits that we get placed on us by only being able to sell for caps. And because Bethesda has us essentially having a daily limit of what we can get on a lot of these currencies, scrip and gold bullion especially, I feel like it allows for players to control that economy a bit more, so that way you're not just, players aren't having to log in every single day in order to actually make progress on getting gold bullion and legendary scrip. Now, the reason why the background footage is of the Blue Ridge Caravan is because I feel like they offer the best solution to Fallout 76's economy. I believe that players should be able to have a merchant that goes around and travels to different players that, sells their items. I feel like in order to balance this, it has a much lower carrying capacity than what we have in our vending machines, but that way it's not requiring players to go to other players' camps, but instead allows for traders or merchants to go to other players, whether it be other players' camps, and allows for us to still sell stuff. Now, I also feel like the addition of buy and sell orders would help drastically, allowing for players to search for certain things and to get items in bulk. And while there are means to do this now by joining Fallout 76 Discord servers, Fallout 76 Reddit pages, I feel like having it in the game itself will, 1, make it easier for those pages to be successful, and 2, allow for players that don't necessarily feel comfortable going and joining random Discords and Reddits, allow them to still participate in how the economy works. And again, I'm not really sure how implementing these things would actually go. Obviously, there's the off chance that I'm completely 1000% wrong, and these things would just hurt Fallout 76 more than help. But I feel like when we have a lot of the downtime where there's a lot less players than, like, say right now. Like right now, I log in and I have nearly full worlds, and that's something that I just haven't seen in quite some time on Fallout 76, and it's not something that I feel like we see very often. And having us have additional ways to make, whether it be caps or whatever they allow us to sell things for, I think overall that would help the game quite a bit, because we're no longer limiting it to people that decide they want to come to the camp. Like if we have a merchant, maybe you have to go through a quest line with your ally, or it's a specific ally that you go through their quest line with, and they'll actually go out to other camps and other players in other worlds where they can sell certain goods that you give them to sell, and they take a cut of the profits, but overall you still get most of it. Overall, it's just been quite some time since we've got any updates in regards to the vending machines and the economy in Fallout 76. And frankly, it sucks because, making caps and going through and getting script and gold bullion, all that stuff is really, really important for the game. And yet, it's something that we haven't really seen a lot of changes to, and has kind of been the same since day one. And I feel like overall it's not fully effective and a bit rudimentary. Not that I necessarily hate it in any way. I feel like it's served its purpose, it's done good, but I feel like it could definitely use some updates. And a lot of things in Fallout 76 has grown and changed since launch, except for like the vending machines and how we trade and sell and make a lot of our caps. I mean, it allows implementing many different ways to get the different currencies is going to make it way more enjoyable for many players, because you're not limited to just what you can get in a single day, because there are players that can only play on weekends, and that means that they're only getting 800 gold bullion and like 500 script. It kind of sucks for a lot of players, because they don't really get to fully enjoy what Fallout 76 has to offer, because of how limited we are by the daily limits. Now, I understand why they did it, because there are certain players that would take advantage and would completely have maxed out their gold bullion and script 1,000 times over since it's been added, simply because they just play the game so much. So I do understand why they did it. I feel like there's a lot of different ways, because like currently the vendors that sell for caps, they have like a 1,500 daily limit, and yet we still can sell things for caps in our camps. So there's already a way to sidestep the caps. There's no daily limit for how much you can make in caps, but then for things like script and gold bullion, more so gold bullion, because you can get script as rewards for certain quests. But we already have a way to sidestep one grind, and I feel like Bethesda should allow for us to kind of sidestep it, especially the gold bullion. Although I do understand why they do it. It's just like it feels so unnecessary, because it's a game, it's a video game, people are gonna abuse it, and I understand they want to try and make it as fair as possible, especially because you have like the gold bullion rewards are so much more powerful than a lot of the other ones that we've gotten in the game. Like that is, a lot of it is end game gear, but I still feel like it's not necessarily very fair to those players that can't play every single day and can't log in every single day because they have other obligations. And I don't feel like they should be punished for not being able to do that daily grind. I think that maybe you should reward players extra for doing that daily grind, instead of making it so that players miss out on stuff because they can't log in daily. You make it so that way those who are able to log in daily get something extra. And I understand for certain people that that's not really how they like their games to be. They don't like it to be rewarding for everyone. They want people to actually put in the work. And while I do agree with that, I feel like, this is such a fun game, and I feel like so many people get to miss out on so much stuff, like including myself, because I up until recently was working 2 jobs and was working 13-hour days. I didn't have time to log in. I was working 6 days a week just to try and make ends meet. There are people in that position that want to be able to play the game, but are only able to log in once or twice a week due to outside circumstances. And having those daily limits kind of hurts the games, and I feel like we should have some ways to make money or make many of the different currencies additionally, besides what they currently have in place. I'm really curious to see how you guys feel, because honestly, this has been something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I don't really know how much of the community feels. I haven't seen much people talking about it in like Reddits or Discords, but obviously I could just not be seeing it or in the right Reddits and Discords. I feel like overall the game just needs a bit of life breathed back into it in certain places, because as I was stating, you know, the gold bullion grind is one of the longer grinds in Fallout 76 for players that can't play every single day all the time. You know, like there are certain players that log in every day, they get their gold bullion, they get their script, awesome. But there are players that don't have that luxury, and I don't feel like they should be punished for that. So yeah, the gist of the changes that I really want, the one that I really want to see would be like a traveling merchant that we're able to hire, goes into people's camps, goes into other worlds besides their own, and allows us to make some money that way, you know. I also would really like to see allowing players to sell for script and gold bullion especially. I understand not necessarily doing stamps because that's supposed to be an expeditions only reward, but I feel like allowing players to sell for gold bullion will make it a lot easier for players to kind of catch up to the players who have already gotten all their endgame gear, and make it so that they can enjoy the highs of the game just as much as everyone else gets to. Overall, I feel like these changes wouldn't really be groundbreaking. It would just be nice additions to the game that make it more available to everybody. You know, the end game to be more available for everybody. And I feel like that's something that Fallout 76 has kind of been struggling with. I know many of my friends stopped playing before they can reach the end game, and did stop playing just because of how much time it would take and how much energy, you know, it would really take to get involved into the game. But yeah, I really am interested in hearing how you guys feel about Fallout 76's economy and like the vending and how it works. You know, do you feel like it needs updates, or do you feel like it's already perfect and it doesn't need to change? I'm really curious to hear about that. But that is going to be it for this video today. Thank you guys all for watching and for listening to my rants and ramblings. If you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. And again, I really do want to hear how people feel about this in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Have a great day, everyone.